Hi everyone, welcome to Rants with Carly, something completely new. And I've got my first ever guest, or my fellow ranty pants, as I've been called. I think, was that yourself that called me that, Libby? I'm not sure, but
It
yeah, ranty
was.
pants. Yeah, I love it. And I'm taking it. I think that's my new nickname. But yeah, this idea, I'll say a really quick bit about it. I've already done an intro to it, but it's about, yeah, bring these icks to the surface, because the more we share our voice, the more we put ourselves out there as a brand, the more we encourage people to have their own voice. And yeah, showing that rants can actually be quite positive. We're just going to rant, release, and let it go and reconnect. So, Libby, rant away. Let's start with what the rant actually is.
Okay. So I am a business coach, and my rant is about the. Am I allowed to swear? Can I swear?
Yes, go for, I
Can
think,
I
do you
swear
know
or
what I
not
think with a
swear?
name like Rants with Carly,
Okay.
I think we have to swear.
Okay. Just wanted to check the, parameters of this. No, it's a mild swear word, so it's fine. But yeah, it's the bullshit world of online coaching, right? It really, really, really annoys me. And specifically, what annoys me about it is this promising and talking about the numbers, right? Oh, I had a £1 million launch. All right. Did you? Amazing. Is that profit? Is that turnover? How much did it cost you to have your £1 million launch? Because I'm assuming it's your turnover. Did it cost you 800,000 to have your £1 million launch? In which case you had a £200,000 launch, didn't you? Which is still great, but it's not £1 million. And even just the whole 10K months thing, I'll get you to 10K months, buy my program for 4 grand and I'll get you to 10K months. Yeah, okay. But are you going to then say that you need to spend however much on ads? In which case, a 10K month, again, it's turnover. Might cost me 9K to get there. In which case, you've got a 1K month. And if you want a 1K month, you can just sit at home quietly and talk to 2 or 3 people and make your 1K a month and have a lovely life. Thank you. So without doing all the work. So yes, this is my rant. And I think it's a really dangerous world. I think it's a really toxic world, and I think it damages quite a lot of. Vulnerable feels like a derogatory word, but I don't mean it to be. Susceptible, sorry, that's the word I'm looking for.
Mm.
Susceptible business owners who are trying to find their path and believe that by following these people and doing whatever they're told, they're going to get to the same position as them, but they're not from the same starting point. So it's just all wrong.
Oh, I'm loving this series already. This is a vision I had, that sometimes it's just healthy to have a good rant. We need to get it out, don't we? And I think if we just suppress it all the time and talk fluffy about what people do, we can do this without being bitchy, can't we? Which, do check out. So this is on YouTube. I've got my podcast. Libby is a guest on there, has done a couple of times about your book. And you talk about this, about we don't have to be a bitch, do we, to be in business. But this is the thing that, to me, that, oh yeah, I'm gonna start ranting now. But these false promises, this non-transparency.
Mm.
Yeah, go on. Let's carry on this
Yeah,
rant a little bit further
that's
before we start to let this go. Let's Anything else we need to get out about this?
Well, that's you made the point there. It's about a lack of transparency. If somebody has £1 million launch, wow, amazing. But break it down. There are people who do this extremely well and say, right, these are all the costs in it. And it's like, well, I admire you. That's fantastic. I can get proper information from that. But really, it's the Instagram people. I mean, we all know who I'm talking about. But it's just that, and it's just like you being a solopreneur at home on your own from a bedroom or a cupboard or wherever you are, it's like you just can't, you kind of can't do the same thing because you don't have the same infrastructure. But getting disappointed because you haven't got the same results is what is so psychologically damaging to people, and then their business might fail, or they kind of give up and stuff. But it's because you're trying to achieve X with ABC. It doesn't, it just it's never going to work. And I just
No.
wish that people had a bit more integrity about what they talk about online. Yeah.
Well, I wish it was regulated more in a way. And this is part of my rant. And I'm going to swear now. I'm going to say it pisses me off. Just these promises. And exactly what you said, that I've done that, especially in the early days. I've looked and thought, wow, they're making that much money. They've done 100 grand launch. They've done this. We don't know the figures. We don't know they've got a team. Some will say they've got a team, some
Mm,
won't. They make it sound like it's just them that have done this amazing thing, but
yeah,
really it's just yeah, it's that transparency, like you say. But it's how we. I mean, we're going
yeah.
to do this in a moment where we provide the antidote to this. This is part of this. We sort of rant, release. But let's keep the rant going that little bit further. Just how. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that. Go on. I'll pass it back to you, Libby, because it's your rant. But I just get really pissed off with that lack of transparency.
Yeah, and it breeds an air of distrust in an industry that is unregulated. I mean, I've been a coach for 13 years this year. Well, and I worked with businesses prior to that, but I've had my own business for that amount of time. And in those years, I've seen so many fads come and go, and so many trends come and go. And you can kind of see the pattern. And what I really wish for this coaching space is that we are all a little bit more honest. You don't have to talk about your numbers at all if you don't want to. I don't share numbers, I share percentages, so I'll talk about what percentage my profit margin is, and why it's that, and how if you've got a product-based business it's like to be far lower. So but if you've got a service-based business like mine, then you too can kind of achieve something like that. And I try and always talk with integrity about it, but I'm never going to make false promises, because being in business is hard and there is no magic bullet. There just isn't. You might strike lucky, but if you've had, I don't know, 1,500 followers on Instagram and you suddenly go up to 40,000 followers on Instagram, you have not done that organically, or probably not done it organically in 2 months, right? Because if you've
Mm,
had that account for 5 years, what suddenly changed? I think, oh, you probably use some kind of AI tool to do it. Fine. Just say that, because
yeah.
people can learn from it. And if you want to do that, then that's cool. That doesn't, but don't pretend. None of us should pretend to be something that we're not, or have achieved something that we haven't. Sharing the journey is as valuable as the shiny end result.
Yeah, and I've
I feel
remembered in
better
that
now.
conversation yeah, yeah, you feel better. That's it, isn't it? This is it. I say rant, release, actually, this getting this rant out is release it in itself. I feel better for this. I think, do you know, this series is gonna be so therapeutic. I'm gonna be so zen by the end.
I'm going to say it's just therapy. It's just
Yeah,
therapy. That's all it is.
well, it is. It's helping
two
people watch.
two women in their 40s who are just losing their shit. It's fine. I
That's all the series is gonna be, but, if it helps one person, it's all good. But, yeah, the
mean,
thing I was gonna say
absolutely. Yeah.
well, one thing I was going to
Yeah.
say about why it pisses me off before we release it, because actually the releasing won't take that long. So this is a new series, a new format. I'm testing this out. But the thing that really pisses me off, and you touched on this, was that it makes people feel not good enough. So it's not even that
Mm,
people might throw money into this and waste money. It's not even put time in this, waste that time. It's actually that they might try it, fail ultimately because they've not got the same privileges that they got, or the same infrastructure, same money they put into it, and don't feel good enough. And especially for people like myself and you that are me and you that are neurodiverse, that is dangerous territory, isn't it? And it's what you said about people almost being a bit
mm.
vulnerable to this.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I'm not immune to this. I speak from experience, but I bought into a program, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, within living memory, and it was very expensive. It's 15 grand, I think, for the year's container. So it was a lot of money, but I bought into it because of what I saw the person doing, and I thought, well, I can do that. And of course, once I'm in the program, I'm like, oh right, no, this is not right. And actually they released me in the end, and after 2 or 3 months, and it was kind of all fine, but it was a scarring experience. And I bought into it because the marketing made me feel inadequate. And I just wish that people didn't do that. You're kind of taught, marketing people will teach you to speak to the problem, and it's like, no, let's speak to the person. Let's
Mm.
just do that. Let's just do that instead, because we've all got problems, right? If you want to speak to all my problems, you have not got enough air in your lungs to be able to speak to all my problems. But you should speak to the person. It humanizes everything, it normalizes everything, and it's not this strive for perfection, or to fix us because we're not broken and we don't need fixing.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, see, I feel better already. I think we have got that rant out of our system. And anybody watching along, do comment below. We would love to know what you think about this rant. Have you got a rant you want me to bring to this series? has that triggered something for you where you think, actually, yeah, you've gone down that route, and this might get you to think about it differently. And that's exactly what we're about to do. So let's turn this on its head. First of all, it sounds good, rant, release, and reconnect to you. I like the R's, the alliteration. I don't really know what this means. It's not like we do a ceremony where we write it down and burn it, like release it, but that could be quite fun. Maybe that's what we should do, Libby. Bit like there was in the
Well, I mean,
UK,
I'm
there was a
not.
program. Yeah.
Go on, carry on. Sorry.
Sorry, we've worked out there's a slight delay here, and we feel like we're in a different country because there's a delay, and then we talk over each other. Which people with ADHD, we do that anyway. So this is not for good.
It's true.
Yeah. I was just saying about the releasing it. I've not really thought this bit through. This is the first one. I say it could be quite fun to write it down, burn it, and release it, which you do with like the new moon, the full moon. I'm quite woo, as you can see. But yeah, should we just what's the word? I can't think there's a word. Theoretically, it's a word. Can you think of the word, Livy? Help me out. In theory, not in
Well, I mean,
practice.
I can just, yeah, I can just release it because it doesn't affect me, right? And it's not how I am. It annoys me on other people's behalf. So that's fine. But I would say that I like to think I'm the antidote to this, because I'll say, yeah, well, this was rubbish that I tried, and I don't mind sharing my story like that. Like I say, I have integrity with the
Oh,
numbers that I talk
I'm
about,
sorry.
because I talk about. Is that our alarm going off?
No, it's not alarm. Apologies, everyone. My Siri must have picked up on something you said, and it was saying I don't know what that means.
I mean, who does, Siri? Who does?
Oh dear, that's just when
But
things go
it's
wrong. This is showing the real life version of this. This is unfiltered. What can go wrong in business? Carry on, Libby. Siri really rather rudely interrupted you there, but let's carry that on.
it did. No, so just so ugh, lost my train of thought now. But yeah, no, have integrity. Like, I choose what numbers I share because I know that I can, and what I earn in my business is nobody's business apart from, mine and my husband's and our mortgage advisors, really. I mean, that's the only reason that matters. And so I choose not to talk about it, but I will talk about the nuts and bolts in business. I will talk about profit percentages and how other people can do that. So I think the kind of release, what was it? Release and read, but is just to lead with what you really believe in, rather than trying to be something you're not, or pretend, or smoke and mirrors. Nobody needs it, because people are going to be attracted to you or not attracted to you, and that's kind of the end of it, really. So the more you're yourself and the more you talk from your heart about what really matters to you, that's what matters, right? Don't promise the people the earth, because you can't deliver it. None of us can.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, and that was it. So I lost my train of thought with that, but the release bit is just saying, yeah, let's just, we're ranting it out for me and you, that we might look at it from a different point of view of somebody else. We might be further along where it doesn't affect us. I think that's a really key point you mentioned there, that we've probably moved past that. There might be people watching this that haven't quite moved past it yet. And this is what I'm hoping it does. Encourages people to share their voice, to be vocal about the things that are for you and not for you. Share a polarizing view. I say it on repeat, attract your people by being polarizing. But we can get that rant and we can release it. But for anybody watching who is still affected by this, then this is what we're going to do. So yeah, I'm not going to do it as in like close your eyes and then, but it could be just let it go. Literally, I won't burst into song. Let that go, and let's now look at that antidote, which you've started to touch on there. But what can we do instead of, I guess when we're talking about this lack of transparency, we're not providing the antidote to the people that do that, because they're going to just carry on those tactics. But I guess it's more the antidote for people who have gone into that, followed that trap of thinking they should do it like that. You've pretty much said it, but let's say it in a nutshell. What is the way that they can do that instead?
Well, use your own discernment. If it looks too good to be true, it's too good to be true, right? And invest your time and energy and money in actually having conversations with people instead. If there's somebody that you can talk to, or you can DM, or you can have proper messages and have a proper conversation about you and your business, that's going to be more valuable than buying into a group program where there's 500, 1,000, 3,000 other people in it, and you kind of get lost in that. So yeah, choose what's going to support you, and go down that route, even if it's not the kind of conventional, oh, I must do this program because everybody's done this program. No, you don't have to if it doesn't serve you. Go with what feels right for you, and don't worry about what anyone else thinks.
Yeah, I love that. And I couldn't have said that better myself. I think it comes back to trusting ourselves, going with what feels good to us, getting support on that if we do start to wobble. There's no harm in getting that bit of support before you invest. Say for yourself, Libby, investing 15,000, maybe one power hour with yourself back then, a version of yourself would have stopped you going down that route. So sometimes it's looking at it, isn't it, and thinking it's okay to get support as well. So that's what I'm going to add to that antidote is listening to yourself, trusting yourself, getting that support before you then do go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, absolutely. Second all of that.
Yeah, this delay is so difficult. Honestly, I do feel like we're in some sort of exotic country, that you're in Dubai or something.
I'm in on the Derbyshire South Yorkshire border, so pretty exotic.
Yeah, we're not even that far away. It's literally sort of like
No,
not
we're not.
far,
I
but
know. Who knows? Who knows? Who
but
knows?
again, transparency. We could have gone, yes, do you know what? I'm going across the world to you're the other side of the country. That's why I've got a thing. But it's back to that transparency. That's just not me. It's not you. We're very real. And that's why I love what you do. And Libby's this month's book club anyway, but on the podcast, but I'm going to show it on here as well because it's a different platform. But that pretty much is the antidote right there to everything we've talked about. Do you feel better? Do you
Yeah,
feel better for that rant?
I do. I think it's important to have. I don't feel better for me, I suppose, but I feel better for having said that out to the world. And if that helps one person to reflect on things differently, then absolutely, that's made me a very happy woman.
Yeah, same. And that's what I'm thinking. I think sometimes we just hold things back. We go along with it. We don't share our voice. That actually we're allowed to be pissed off with things. It doesn't have to be negative. We've just shown there, hopefully, that you can have a positive outcome by doing it your way. But thanks so much, Libby. We have talked and talked there because we did the podcast interview as well. Do check out the podcast. Do check out Libby's book and share your thoughts on this rant with us. Comment below, give us a like, or find us on social media. I'll pop all your links there as well, Libby. But yeah, thank you for your rant today. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me along. I loved it. I feel so much better now.
Bye bye.